I'm Rebecca Milliken, and welcome everyone. Some of you may actually recognize my name. In my work hat, I do sustainability outreach for the city of Berkeley, and I send out a lot of emails. But today I am taking off my work hat, and I am just here as a neighbor, as a Bay Area resident who's really passionate about sustainability and about electrification. So thank you for coming. Let me just quickly tell you about the house. So I live here with my husband Isaac and my two teenage sons. And Isaac and I moved here in, it's going to be about 19 years ago. So the house is a typical El Cerrito ranch house. It's from 1948. It's 1,100 square feet. And if you went up and down our block, you would find others just like it. And we were drawn to it because this was what we could afford at the time. But when I came here, I found out that I really loved El Cerrito. We're really lucky that it has a beautiful hillside area up behind the house that we can go hiking, and our two BART stations that we can walk and bike to. And it's just a super laid back and warm community. So we've really grown to love El Cerrito. So let me take you inside and show you around. So my electrification story actually started in my kitchen. I knew what I needed to do, but didn't have the money to do it. And so I just started out, the very first thing I got was my electric tea kettle. Whoops! So I didn't have to run one on my gas stove. And soon after, I got my Instapot. I actually just finished cooking something, but I love this because I can put it on early in the morning. And then I stop cooking before 3 p.m. when the electricity rates get high, and just heat it up later. So there's our flavored rice for tonight. So for our family, electrification was about not only reducing greenhouse gases, but really about health and safety. So let me tell you what was going on in the kitchen, which looks a little complicated right now with all these wires. We had a gas water heater right here in this closet. And it was from the 1990s. And that gas water heater, we were keeping it alive with prayer. We were just hoping it wasn't going to die on us. So that was right here. And here's our gas stove that's still here. It's unplugged right now. We actually don't have any gas. But I wanted to show you that we have an exhaust hood, but it's really loud, and we don't really know if it works. I'm going to turn it on for just a second. That thing is loud. So here's what happened. We knew that the water heater was old and was going to die, and I wanted to put in a heat pump water heater. And this was a couple of years ago. So I had a local HVAC company come out, and they offered to do some air testing in my house. And lo and behold, really wasn't that much of a surprise, but every time the gas water heater sipped on, as they say, it turned on, or we turned on the gas range, the pollutants just spiked in our house. So they did this for a week, and I was like, okay, now I know, that our air quality is really bad. And because of the ventilation, we don't really know how well that was working. The HVAC company said to me, you should keep your kitchen window open all the time when you're cooking and run your fan in the bathroom. So that was okay when cooking, but the water heater, we had no control over that. So that's what I did, and that was all fine and dandy until the fall of 2018 in November, when the horrible campfire started up in Paradise. And at that time, air quality in the Bay Area was really poor, and we were told to stay indoors with windows closed. So there was no way that I was going to be running my stinky gas stove with closed windows. So I turned off the gas. And a friend of mine, a neighbor, Howdy Gowdy, some of you may know him. He's do-gooder all over El Cerrito. He loaned me these two portable hobs, that they call them, induction hobs. And since 2018, we've been using those and this toaster oven. So, no making big trays of brownies in the oven anymore. So that was our setup. Gas stove was here, basically holding these up. And just last week we did get in a plug that I can show you later, an induction, a plug 240 outlet to accommodate an induction range, which we hope is coming soon. I want to show you something that I'm really excited about. So this is where our gas water heater used to live, okay? And it got replaced by our heat pump water heater. It was right in here, and I'm going to even show you, we still have the hot and cold water pipes and the old gas line as well. Right now I'm using it to hang my grocery bags. But now, I'm so excited, for the first time in my life, I have a pantry. We used to keep all this stuff in the garage. So I mentioned that we replaced our gas water heater with this heat pump water heater. And this thing is amazing. I love it. And so, for so many reasons. First of all, because I don't hear that gas going sipping on, and I know spewing out pollutants. So what it is spewing out is this nice, or it shouldn't use spewing, it's putting out this really nice cold air, and all the warm air is going in here to heat the water. And you may hear some humming in the background. So when it's operating, it does make some noise, and typically these are in basements or garages like ours. They can also be put outdoors. So this happens to go back up against our bedroom wall, and we discovered it was kind of noisy at night. So it's all Wi-Fi enabled. We've programmed it to shut off at 3 p.m. when energy rates go up, and then we keep it off all night, and at 7 a.m. it turns on again. And we have not run out of water for the 4 of us, and this is with teenagers taking long showers. But there's another neat feature too, is we actually boost the temperature high, and I do that between 12 and 3 when I know there's a lot of solar clean energy on the grid. So I boost it up, and then we shut it down. And if we knew that there was going to be a planned outage, like a public safety power shutoff, we get warning, we can boost that temperature up beforehand. Then the power goes out, and we will still have hot water. I don't know for how long. Hasn't happened yet, but I know that this can at least go from 3 p.m. until the morning without a problem. So part of our electrification was also getting rid of our gas dryer, which was actually our last appliance to go. So just a couple weeks ago, we sold it on Craigslist for $50, and we just got an Energy Star electric resistance one. We really considered the heat pump dryers, and I know that there are $300 rebates for them now, but there's only one model that's large capacity, and we wanted it to be the same size as our washer, which is still functioning. So we're going to keep this till it goes. But actually, most of the time, we hang our laundry outside. So this is really just the backup in the winter or for when it's raining. So part of why we really fell in love with the house too is because we're on this double lot, and for this area, we've got a really big yard. Theoretically, I'd be a gardener, but I'm thinking maybe in my retirement that will be my next profession. But for now, I get to be out here with the birds and the bees while I hang my laundry. So before we even began electrifying the house, we wanted to electrify our transportation. And even though we bike commute and use BART, for the weekends, we want to get rid of our gas car. So this is a 2017 Leaf. It only has a 100-mile range. Cars today, all the new cars are over 200, some are over 300-mile range. But we do something just called trickle charging. So we don't have a fancy charger. This came with the car, all EVs and plug-in hybrids, and it's just plugged into our outlet over there. And the car has a timer, so we set it to charge the car when electricity rates are low. And PG&E gives us a discounted rate if you have an EV. So I mentioned that around the campfire time, we shut off our gas stove, but we also had to stop using our gas furnace at about that time. One cold day, I went and turned on our heater, and there was ductwork, pieces of ductwork blowing up out of the vents. And we realized that rats had gotten into our ducts in our crawl space and had made their home and chewed them up. Our furnace worked, but as part of the electrification, we were going to redo the ducts and put an air source heat pump. So the neat thing about the system we did, which is a ducted split system, is we're able to use the same floor vents. We don't have to change them. So just like our former gas furnace, which is in the crawl space underneath, we now, have our vents just where they were before. So we have our vents here, and we have our two vents in the living room and in each of our bedrooms. If your ductwork is in good shape, you don't even need to replace it. In our case, since it had been compromised by rats, we first had to get a company in to clean it out and seal up all the holes. And now we have the nicest, cleanest crawl space ever with no rats. And Larry Waters and his team actually put in new ductwork that was properly sized. So that was, and we got a rebate to do that as well. We got, I think, about $800 back to do that part of the job. So this is our Fujitsu 18,000 BTU air source heat pump. This is the outdoor unit, and as I said, I cranked it up to high fan, high heat, and I don't think you can hear it over the car going down the street, but I'll be quiet for a second. But you can see that the plants are moving. It's a little bit because it's windy today, but that's also, if I put one right here, that's just the cool air is being pushed out and the warm air is going in. So the other thing I'm really excited about is that this not only provides heat, but it also provides air conditioning. Now you might say here in El Cerrito, in the fog belt, I know it's cold today, but with climate change, we have had some really hot, uncomfortable weather, and our house is really well insulated. So once it gets warm day after day, it doesn't cool down. So just for fun on one of these warm days this spring, we turned it on to see if it was working, and sure enough, it is. It's great. So I wanted to show you this place because this is where our gas line, right here, used to be, and it went through here, and this was the gas meter on the other side, and that was the old vent. And I say used to be because PG&E came and totally, it's called decommissioning our gas line. So they capped it in the street on the other side at where it hits the main, and then they literally cut it and took the meter out.
It's just digging anyway.
So you can see these yellow lines. This is the gas main, the lateral that goes to the main, which is across the street, running over there. And so it was capped. Working for a city, I know that policy change is needed at the federal level and international cooperation and collaboration. But cities play a role in setting examples and can start trends that take off, like the natural gas bans in new construction. Berkeley was one of the first in 2019, and now 44 cities have adopted building codes to reduce their reliance on gas, and that list keeps growing. But back to me. I think that individuals, we also have a role to play too. And I've done what I can over the years. It's been small things like reusing plastic bags or hanging my laundry, to getting out of my car, riding my bike, getting an EV, etc. And electrifying my house was the next step. And as you know, it was not just for the greenhouse gas reductions, but also because of our family's health and the comfort of our home.